How's it going today, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about financial education's Jeremy, and he is buying 17K of FOOTLOCKER, which I disagree with. So don't get me wrong, I love this man. He's what inspired me to make my own channel. If I could be a 100th the investor he is, that would be great. I'm not going to poo-poo on this guy at all, but I just don't understand this one in particular. Love this guy, holy smokas, all that good stuff, but we're going to talk about some issues I have with this FOOTLOCKER investment that I've seen. So we'll dive into that. If you enjoy the content, please like and sub, and let's see why I think this is a questionable investment myself. Here I do my research on Yahoo Finance just based on financials and everything like that. So he was in love with the revenue and earnings, but I'm not so much in love with that. If we look at 2017, we see 7.77 billion and 664 million in earnings. And then it trickles down, it cuts in about half earning-wise and still same revenue, and revenue just kind of caps off at about 8 billion even in 2020. So I'm not seeing this financial growth that he is seeing. I'm seeing basically for the last 3 years, this company's done nothing in growth and has been staying at 8 billion, and I don't see where the growth could potentially come from. Do I not see that growth happening in the future? I just don't see any potential growth due to the competition. If I'm going to buy a pair of shoes and I know what size I am and everything like that, I'm probably going to go to like an Amazon or a Nike. I just don't think of FOOTLOCKER first as the place where I'm going to go and buy shoes. So I think the competition here is a big thing to think of as well. Like the last probably 4 or 5 pair of shoes I've bought, I've just hopped on Amazon, got size 11s, called it a day. So I really don't see the comparison here, and I'm always buying stuff on Amazon anyway, so it's not a huge deal to go and buy that. And as he said in his video, it's physical stores right now that are being the ones that are making most of their sales. And I think physical stores are just dying out in general. I think Amazon, internet is the wave of the future. They're making a push for that, but still most of their sales are in physical retail stores, which I am not a fan of. Back to Yahoo Finance. So their total cash did go up. I'm just going to dive through, and this goes back to 2017 here for each of these years here. So total current assets did go up, but it's just on par with 2017 levels right now, and it's below that actually by 300 million. So he was kind of going quarter to quarter, and I understand that getting through COVID is good and bullish and everything like that, but I want to see a little bit more growth in that. And then the total assets have gone up as well. So I see the good with the assets. The liabilities was what gets me here. They had 1 billion of liabilities in 2017, and then if we go all the way to 2020, what their current liabilities are, it's up to 4 billion. So that's 4x, and that's not a good amount of growth in debt to justify their not great amount of revenue that they're getting in my eyes here. And the biggest thing for me is, why would people want to shop here versus somewhere else? You can see that for $160, it's the same shoe. This is Amazon, and this is also FOOTLOCKER prices here. It's the same shoe. You can get free shipping with the Amazon one. You're probably already purchasing things there. You trust Amazon because you use it all the time. So I just don't really see the motivation to buy anything from FOOTLOCKER in particular. And I'm the biggest cheapskate you're ever going to meet. So what I'm going to do, if I wanted a particular shoe in particular, I'm just going to go to Google. I'm going to type in that shoe. So here's an example from FOOTLOCKER shoe and just results I found on Google. And I'm just going to go ahead and type into Google the name of that shoe, and I'm going to find the cheapest one. And you know, if FOOTLOCKER doesn't have the cheapest one, I'm not going to buy from it. If it did, I would think about it. But I'm just really not seeing what's motivating people to buy from FOOTLOCKER unless you're in the upper crust and you don't really give 2 craps about where you're buying things from. So I don't really see what is motivating people to buy from there versus other places in particular. That's one of my biggest gripes with this one, is I just don't understand why people would go there. If I wanted some Nikes, I'm going to go to Nike. If I wanted some Under Armours, I'd go to Under Armour or Amazon, or just go to Google and find the cheapest one. And another point he brought up was that people are having this extra income right now, but in July, 32% of US households were not able to make their housing payments. So I think this is really the argument he has for maybe the upper class. I mean, I would say I'm firmly, in the middle class, and I would say I'm just worried about another wave of COVID. So I am just saving. I'm not doing any splurging right now. I think splurging right now would be, I don't know, almost foolish in my eyes. I understand that people were making money with the unemployment. That is gone now. So I think the concerns are not consumer related. Maybe with that extra $600 a week, people were doing that, but I think that might just be a short-term thing that we're seeing there. With people unable to pay their mortgage, I don't think stuff is the biggest idea in their eyes. I understand the short-term boom possibly with the extra $600 a week, but I really don't see it. And if people are still not working, then there's quite a large worry there. So here's the skinny about what we just talked about here in this whole video and why I think this is a questionable buy in my eyes. So the revenue of Foot Locker, all right, Foot Locker up here, Foot Locky Docky. So the revenue of Foot Locker since 2017 has been stagnant. You know, it was the best in 2017. Granted, the share price at that time was higher, but it was stagnant since then. So I'm not really seeing this growth that he is seeing in the future here. I get that he thinks that, you know, there's more people coming in. His are packed. You know, I'm from Minnesota here, and my Foot Lockers have nobody in them pretty much at any point, and I've also gone to them and looked. You know, not in an investing standpoint like him, but I've gone and I've looked, and they all seem pretty much empty where I'm from. So I don't really see this growth that he's seeing. The prices on their footwear, I don't understand why people would buy from them versus another competitor. That's another thing I don't get. You have to physically go to the store and go and purchase these shoes when you could get the same price or a better price if you just Google Nike Air Max, yada, yada, yada. You could probably find a better price, order it, have it delivered for free if it's from like Amazon, or Amazon, which would have the same prices most of the time, would just deliver for free, and you probably have an Amazon subscription anyway. So the prices, I don't understand the prices and what is motivating people to buy these shoes from there versus somewhere else. I get if you're in a mall and you see it and you want to go to it in that case, in a very packed area, I can see that a little bit more. But I don't understand what would motivate a person to buy shoes from Foot Locker versus like Amazon. Like if I need to buy some shoes, I'm not going to type in Foot Locker. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to find the cheapest deal because I'm a big cheapskate that way, which I think a good amount of people are. Some aren't, you know. People using money. So he was stating that, you know, people aren't going to games. They're not going to, you know, all these things. They have this extra revenue. I don't say that is true, but mainly for the middle upper class tier. You know, we found that little factoid that 30% of people aren't even paying the mortgage. I think they got bigger fish to fry than buying a pair of shoes. Like myself, I'm doing all right, but I'm still just saving right now because I'm worried. I'm worried about another hit of COVID. I'm worried that, you know, job loss. I'm worried you're not going to have that extra income because they got rid of the extra $600 a week. So I'm worried and I'm saving. I'm certainly not going out and buying shoes right now myself. Another thing that was kind of glazed over is the debt has 4x since 2017. Granted, their revenues have gone up, their assets have gone up as well, so I give him that point, but their debt has climbed substantially as well. And their revenue hasn't increased from that point really in 2017 that justify this climb in debt. So for me, when I'm looking at a balance sheet of a company, I want to see year over year. He was kind of looking quarter to quarter, and I understand that was getting better, and there are, you know, reasonably low prices right now. But these are the reasons right here why I think Foot Locker is just not for me. That's the beauty of investing. You don't have to invest in anything. I don't want to poo-poo on Jeremy because I think he's the man. I love that guy. So, you know, if you enjoy the content, please like and sub. Didn't want to get anybody all butthurt, but that is what it is. So hopefully if you guys do buy this one, you make a ton of money on it. I hope everybody always makes tons of money. So, you know, take care and goodbye.